Buongiorno e benvenuti. I'm Dan Miller. I'm the coordinator of the FLAIR, Forests and Livelihoods Research Network, and I'm an associate professor at the University of Notre Dame in the United States. It is truly my pleasure to welcome all of you to this year's FLAIR annual meeting. Woo woo! So they say that all roads lead to Rome. I'm not sure if it's true, but certainly you all have taken many roads to get here. And that includes an online road for those of you that are joining by live stream today. On behalf of the FLAIR Secretariat, thank you so much for your efforts to come. It's your participation and your energy that animates FLAIR and that makes this meeting so exciting and vital. The road to this meeting, I must say, has also had its twists and turns. This is the 8th meeting of the FLAIR network, but it's the first time that we're gathering in person since 2019 in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It was truly a different world then. Much has changed and we have experienced much loss. I would like to pause at the beginning just to remember those that we have lost due to the pandemic, also due to war and violence, not least against forest defenders in many countries around the world. We are now most certainly at a critical moment for people and forests globally. Desiccated rivers, unbearable heat, burning forests, devastating floods. These are just of the few of the more dramatic ways in which climate change is affecting people and nature across the globe. The rich variety of life on Earth is declining at an astonishing rate as we destroy and degrade ecosystems and the creatures that depend on them. At the same time, poverty persists in far too many pockets of the world, and a grotesque inequality intensifies within and across so many countries. Racial, gender, and other forms of injustice fester while rising authoritarianism threatens democracy and freedom. These challenges highlight, no doubt, the urgent need to, as Pope Francis has so eloquently put it, care for our common home, especially the most marginal and vulnerable among us. The good news is, I hope, that people are rising up to these challenges in myriad ways and in contexts across the globe. Movements of indigenous peoples, of women, students, and others have shifted the conversation, driving social change. Politicians and business leaders are taking note. Forests are now higher on national and international agendas than I've ever seen in my professional working lifetime. At the Glasgow Climate Summit, for example, more than 140 countries holding over 90% of the world's forest area have committed to halt and reverse deforestation. Donors have pledged some $20 billion to help realize this goal, including $1.7 billion for indigenous peoples and for local communities to protect, manage, and restore their forest resources. All of you here, all of us, are part of this change. And this conference and FLAIR more generally serves as an important vehicle to advance our collective efforts to better care for our common home. We are in an ideal setting for this work, I think you'll agree. A city that's rich with history, continually reinventing itself with headquarters of key partners like FAO, the Roman Catholic Church, and others. And this venue, with its magnificent auditorium where we now sit, founded by Franciscan monks who wanted to promote education and service to a better world. Here is a place for conversation, exchange, and learning, all of which can inspire and inform action. It is here in the coming days that we can make progress towards Flair's vision. To advance knowledge at the intersection of forests and livelihoods and facilitate its application to policy and practice. And it's also here, I very much hope, that we can help to realize the broader vision of our Flair network to create and nurture a vibrant global community of practice and to understand, imagine, and help bring about more just and sustainable futures for people and for forests. So who are we? Who will be doing all this work at the conference? Well, some 250 of you have registered for the conference. That's a record for Flair participation. Participants, you, come from about 40 countries, some 40% of which are low and middle income countries, also a record for Flair. There are 90 students here. The program includes more than 180 presentations and several plenary events, including a keynote by Professor Nancy Peluso from the University of California at Berkeley, and an opening roundtable, which we'll get to in just a few minutes, on the conference theme, which you can see here. We also have 2 optional lunch events. We'll have a roundtable with editors from prominent journals in our field, and then on tomorrow, there'll be a student and early career mixer. I highlight later today, we'll end with an interactive plenary event back in this room. It will be moderated by Professor Jesse Ribot of American University in Washington, D.C., with the purpose of spurring creative collaboration among ourselves and among the broader Flair network. I invite you to take part and share your ideas, including those that emerge from listening to all the presentations today. Tomorrow we will close the meeting with a plenary and we'll announce the winners of the best student presentations and posters. We'll also discuss path forward for Flair. So before I conclude, a couple of housekeeping items. First, no food and drink in this beautiful hall, they ask. You can have food and drink anywhere else in this complex. The complex is really ours for the conference. I encourage you to make it home. And to that end, it's good to know where the rooms are in your house. So the parallel sessions will take place in 6 rooms, one of which is this one. The other rooms, Jacopone, San Francesco, and San Bernardino, are all in the main hallway. So if you're presenting in one of those rooms, it's in the main hallway just up the stairs. And then Aula A and Aula B are up over there, up the stairs. And there will be signs after the plenary that will give you indication of where those rooms are. I would also like to remind moderators, and thank you so much to all the moderators, to show up a bit early to your sessions if you can, and then be sure to fill out the form and give a summary of what the discussion was like in your session. And we'll come back to that at the end of the conference. You may share your conference experience on social media, hashtag Flair 2022 Rome. And so I'm going to conclude just with a word of thanks. This meeting is being hosted by the Keough School of Global Affairs at the University of Notre Dame, and it truly would not have been possible without the support and vision of the Dean of the School, Professor Scott Appleby. I want to thank him and staff, there are too many to count individually, at Notre Dame who have really helped to make this meeting possible. The units at Notre Dame who have supported the meeting are listed on the cover of the program, and I'm grateful to all of them. I do want to single out one person without whom this meeting would not have been possible, and that is Brian Wanba, Flair Program Manager. Brian, are you here? Yay! Brian has done a truly outstanding job under sometimes trying and pressure-filled circumstances to make the meeting come together and look at the outcome. So thank you so much, Brian. I also want to acknowledge the outstanding support from the previous Flair Secretariat, led by Professor Arun Agarwal, Flair founder, known to many, if not all of us, and the coordinator, and also Christy Watkins, the Flair program manager before Brian. They were both so helpful in sharing their tips and tricks for meeting organization. Special thanks also to Flair's steering committee and the conference organizing and coordination committee. They really helped shape the content and how this meeting is going. And then here in Rome, we've had tremendous support from Anna Riccigliano at the University of Notre Dame Rome Gateway, and then also Alessandra Fonticoli and her staff here at the Auditorium. Thanks to them, and thanks to all of you who are here and make Flair such a vibrant global community. It's just wonderful to see all of you. So let's get started. That's the end of my remarks for now. So on the starting part, I would like to invite our first opening plenary panel to please take the stage, led by Dr. Ann Larson. Thank you.